Well, like with you, you've had to face charges, what? And have they come to you and said, you know what, we understand your situation, we'd like to show you compassion in some way?
No, not at all. You know, it's, for when I was on opiates, I mean, they used to prescribe me, they brought up Narcan earlier, they used to prescribe me Narcan. I mean, I was told to carry that just in case I OD'd.
How are you going to wake up after ODing and give yourself Narcan?
Yeah, you know, they said,
there's no Narcan
and
needed.
Let your family know.
For
and
cannabis.
It's like, you know, for so long I took these medicines, and because that's what the doctors told me to do, you know, and I trusted the doctors. And then they weren't working anymore, and I'm depressed, and then they're giving me Narcan, and they're giving me all these other medicines to deal with the side effects. And I was like, I have to do something. And that's when I started researching, and when I started CBD, I started CBD first. And I was like, well, this helps me some. I can not take as much. I can decrease my dose a little bit. And
It's a process.
And then I got, somebody gave me some high THC products. And I was like, hey, when I use this, I can skip a dose. And I kept doing that. And it took me, it was over 2 years that it took me to actually wean down of everything I was on. And now, April 22nd, well, it'll be 2 years.
All right.
Opiates after being told I would be on the rest of my life, and really thinking that in my heart that I would have to be on the rest of my life. And I was approved for a wheelchair about 5 years ago. And I'm up here today walking, not in a wheelchair.
Yeah, but yet we're lying.
Yeah.
And we're criminals.
And how did any of that affect your case? You think it would have, because you ended up wanting to go for a jury case, that you would have had to hope that the jury showed you compassion?
Yeah, that was my only hope.
Yeah.
My only hope was to convince the jury, and I mean, I knew it was risky, you know, because there's not much precedence for it, but I really felt like, I mean, I know it changed my life. I know the town I was in, a lot of people knew me and had seen me when I was on all the prescriptions. Like my parents, who had been completely against cannabis. Medical marijuana is just an excuse to get high. That's what they'd always told me. And when they first found out that I was doing this, they acted like I was going to grow horns or sprout another head.
Yeah.
You know, and now they have seen me so much better that they have actually come to me themselves and told me that they support what I'm doing, and they've seen such improvement in me. And so I just really felt like that if I had a chance to be in front of a jury, you know, especially, you know, like I said, this is a town I lived in, that I felt like I had a chance in convincing these people, you know, because I knew that they had seen how bad I was when I was taking what the doctors were giving me, and how much better I'm doing now. And just looking at me, I mean, you know, before I looked messed up all the time.
It's a change.
You know, I mean, everything I was taking was prescribed. I was taking exactly like prescribed, but I was messed up all the time. And you could tell it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want my kids to see me that way. I didn't like people seeing me that way. But I didn't have much of a choice. It was, I mean, I was in so much pain. I had to do something to function. And
I feel normal whenever I take cannabis.
And now you're just told this is just anecdotal information, right?
Yeah. Oh, Dr. Sabi and them wanted scientific proof.
Yeah.
We are your proof. I don't know how much more proof that you need. We don't get paid like y'all do.
But they won't even
we come up
consider
here
that.
on our own, you know.
Yeah. How do
'Cause
you
we can't
research something that they won't
allow
you to research.
Exactly. And if you
gotta get the
notice,
research
most
if
of
you
these
wanna
people
allow
that
it.
we're up against are older, like 60, 70, and they're from a different era. Is that appropriate to say? A different era, and they're wanting proof. But then, if you won't let us speak and tell you, then how are you gonna know?
Yeah.
I mean, for real though, like we're not that stupid. We can see what's going on. It should be about, like my speech says, it should be about the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Not money, not power, the right thing to do. Like be a human, be compassionate. I'm sure they have families. How would they like their daughter or their mother or brother, cousin, whoever, seizing out? like Dr. Terry said, would you rather them drill a hole in your brain than to simply ingest or take or use, consume, however you want to put it, cannabis? And of course, I didn't hear not a never one of them say nothing.
But apparently,
Now, if it's Dr. Sabi, he would say that. Because he challenged Dr. Terry straight up and told him that was not the place after he had done spoke his piece. And I'm sure Dr. Terry is going to have words with him. I had my words with Paul Sherrill and Dr. Sabi after he said that. And that's when I told him to sleep well. Because that is, it's an absolute travesty the way they treated us in there. Which I knew it wasn't going to go real well, but he just pretty much said he didn't care. To me, the way I took it, because I'm pretty blunt, he just pretty much said he didn't care about nobody. Come off as very narcissistic.
I mean, a big slap in the face.
Yes.
To anybody that medically does need it, because they're just
It was
pushing you off in the
unprofessional.
corner block. You're just wanting it recreational.
And
You don't
like,
have a medical problem. They're just dismissing your true medical problems. Just
Yes.
because they're blanketing it. And like they said, they're trying.
Yes.
They are trying to blanket.
It's not like
it
a lot,
under.
like the Criminal Justice Committee, you was there last year, but yeah, that I went up in front of. A lot of them, not that they were really, I'm trying to think of the appropriate word,
They're uneducated.
uneducated.
About that topic.
they just don't know. Like Antonio, he was just sitting there like this, like it just blew his mind. And I'm like, there is thousands of sick people, not just with epilepsy, because I don't come up here just for me. I come up here for all of us. Like I said, we don't get paid unlike them. We're here on our own fruition, or whatever the word is. And it is sad that we did not even make one dent today.
And we got veterans coming back that have been in the last wars who have
Yes.
got the PTSD and
My friend
depression.
Matt, he's Wycheck, is how you pronounce his last name, I think. He was here.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. He's very
Josh.
young, though.
you
We
see,
went to
Josh
school with
Williams,
him.
yes.
everybody up here that's coming for it, are either really sick individuals that have health concerns, like
I
Representative
haven't
Jerrigan.
seen
that spoke
anybody
up.
up here that looks like they're selling pot.
Oh, no.
And you know what I'm saying? And like that's
Yes.
their income, and it's like, you know
Yeah.
what? Hey, I've got some greenhouses.
Yeah.
I'm ready
Yeah,
to
and I
make
wanna make
business
some
go.
money.
Yeah, that's not it.
That's
It's
all they're worried
everybody.
about is money. Of course, you're going to profit off of cannabis, but get to the root, and that would be the people. Be
Yeah, the people up
compassionate.
here that come with epileptics
Yes.
and other issues. David walking around with all his issues. It's just
Mm-hmm.
one patient after another, just asking for some kind of medical
Just
compassion.
listen. Basically, just y'all please
Like,
listen.
you
We voted
understand.
you in. They could at least take the time to actually listen.
And if they're going
And
to
they
up
didn't
your
listen
dose,
to
here,
that.
take
I
some more and
didn't
some
feel-
more.
Yeah.
You know, we vote you in here. The least you can do as our representatives is to take the time, whether you agree with it, I'm trying to
Yeah.
say, you need to be quiet and listen to what we have to say. Give us our time.
Big
And-
Pharma creates customers, not killers. That's what I've always said, and that's what I've always heard.
So now on the state level, there is no compassion. People with medical illnesses will continue to be treated like felons because this is the best way to handle it.
They want scientific proof, but yet they don't want to hear us talk.
Yeah.
Set up a trial. We'll be your test subjects, however you want to call it. We've been testing ourselves, and evidently it's not done nothing yet.
And with your case
No
in
harm.
particular, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations did say that they could not tell the difference between CBD hemp flower and marijuana with active THC, correct?
Right, they don't have the equipment to test the percentage of THC, so they can't determine if it's a legal product or not,
A lot of it
regardless.
smells the same.
Yeah.
And looks the
Yeah, it
same.
stinks the same. You know, I mean, you really can't tell any difference. And that's one big thing that I'm kind of curious to find out in the future is how much can we use this CBD out in public? Because, I mean, what, can we do it
That's
at
what they
regular
asked
smoke
me
pits?
last year. Do you not already use
Right now,
CBD?
as a matter of fact,
Yes.
it was brought up in committee last week, anybody over the age of 18.
Yeah.
You can,
Because
any smoking area,
Right.
you're allowed to consume smokable hemp or CBD products.
So now, as long as nobody tells on themselves, as long as they claim they have hemp, you can pretty
They're
much.
gonna have a hard time proving otherwise.
Yeah. So at least that's something. I don't know how much, they're still gonna harass you
Yeah.
and probably
Yeah.
arrest you if they want, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, when they see that people are gonna start fighting these charges.
Yeah.
They're fighting a losing battle.
When they take the money incentive, because, you know, that's what law enforcement's worried about. They're worried about the money they make. And if they lose that money and they're not making all that money and they're having to test everything and having to take everything to court, then they're gonna stop busting as many people.
And with you, you got busted, what, with less than 2 grams?
Yeah,
And how much
1.1.
time within the system did you, I'm going to say, waste? I mean, you're fighting for your freedom, but on the other side, how much real political public tax dollars seems to be wasted just to try to process you on less than 2 grams?
Yeah, it was over a year I went back and forth. And I mean, it was, I mean.
2 grams don't even last a week.
Right. Right. And
But in the court system, it's going to cost you more than a year?
yes.
Well,
Yeah,
that's all
and
it's all about
they told
money.
me, they offered me probation.
Yeah.
And part of the thing was that they were gonna they were gonna drug test me, which would have made me have to go back on opiates.
Yeah.
Or I would have violated probation and then been in jail for that. And so I refused it, and I mean, they straight up told me that if I took it to trial, that they would push the max, which was, I could have served a year in jail.
That is
Over
so.
there, 11 months, 29 days. And
They can do it too.
they're
That's
like,
all
well,
it is.
if you fight this, just know we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what they
Fighting
told
the
me.
man, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And they really let me know. I mean, I really think the whole thing was orchestrated because they thought I knew somebody and they wanted names,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, and that's what they wanted from me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they didn't, when they got me, they didn't arrest me that day. Well, then they charged me and wrote me a ticket and gave me their card and told me to contact them and give them some names.
Yeah.
And if I helped them, that they'd help me. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, just
No,
think
we
about it.
don't roll that way,
Just-
thank you.
Just get with us before court. Just make sure you talk to us before court.
Because they've been so open and compassionate with you, why don't you just go ahead and give them some
Yeah.
information too?
Yeah.
right?
Real compassionate.
They told me I wouldn't believe all the home invasions and deaths that happened because of marijuana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's what
who's
they-
orchestrating those? The
Like,
police
get out
are.
of here!
Exactly, and then they turned around and wanted me to give
We-
names,
they-
and I'm like, wait a second, you just told me about all these people that killed because of this, and now you're wanting me to do exactly what you're telling me people get killed
Just a
for.
little bit
Yeah.
hypocritical, right?
And I'm like, oh, you wanting me to end up dead?
Yeah.
You know? It's like, that doesn't, you know, no.
It's sad.
You know, this saved me from, you know, I was looking at being dependent the rest of my life, you know, and on top of that, they weren't working anymore, and it caused me such other issues and depression that I was trying to get my youngest daughter, 18, and then I was going to find some way that I didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, well, you know, I'm just going to become more disabled, and I'm useless.
Pretty
And I
much
can't do that.
saved you from being one of those people that had to be saved by that Narcan.
Right.
And you can't save your own self after you OD. What would be the point in giving somebody Narcan? There ain't no Narcan when it comes to cannabis.
And I mean,
And
for
that
20
goes back
years,
to the
I carried
customers and
a
stuff.
bottle. I mean, I was on fentanyl. I was on methadone. I was on fentanyl. And I had a bottle with me everywhere I went for 20 years. I never had a problem. Never, you know, I took it like I was supposed to, you know, but then all of a sudden, I'm using a plant now that hasn't killed anybody and
Ever.
can't kill me, but all of a sudden now I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a criminal on fentanyl. You know, I could take all them high-powered opiates and everybody thought, oh, that was all fine. But now all of a sudden I'm a criminal because I'm trying to do something better to save my life.
To improve your
Because that's
quality
not
of
part of the government is what it is. It's all about money.
And we're talking about something that doesn't even meet
Politics.
the criteria to be a Schedule I drug to begin with.
It's in the same class as heroin, is it not?
It is.
Absolutely
Which means
ridiculous.
that there is absolutely
No
no
medical
medicinal
use.
value for it, and it is one of the most highly addictive.
But yet,
And
how
they
many,
just said in there
34
says
states has
that
done
there were-
legalized
that there
it?
were medical.
Yeah, even Sabi Kumar
So they are like-
admitted that there were medical uses for cannabinoids.
But yet he's against it,
Yeah.
100%.
So you're contradicting yourself right there, saying, you know,
Exactly.
it's Scheduled 1. It has medical benefits, but no, these people just want it.
It's like I said, they can
you know.
keep sweeping it under the rug all they want, and we're going to keep coming back.
And we're getting stronger every year.
That's exactly right.
And so just to recap for today, just in case I didn't get it all recorded, what exactly happened? Got shot down?
Very
That's
close.
what-
All of it. I
happens.
think every vote was a no.
No, well, no, there was
There's
2
2
yeses.
against 4.
No, I mean each bill. I was trying to keep up
Both
with the
of
bills.
them.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I think
yeah.
there was four 4 no's?
4 no's and 2 yeses.
Yeah, yeah.
I know I've been out here for a couple of years with it.
This is, let's see, I
Year
testified
4?
at the summer yeah, I've been around a couple of years now.
Yeah.
2017, I testified at the summer study. I got sent to summer study that year. And then last year, and then this year.
So what do you think it's going to need next year to pass? Is it going to be more people showing up and bugging?
Different lawmakers.
Yeah, I think
Election year.
I think when election comes around, that
Yeah.
a lot of these lawmakers that thought that they were really safe with their no vote
Yeah.
are going to find out that all of a sudden all these people that have been afraid to speak out about it are going to all of a sudden, they're going to realize that they have all these people
The
against
people
them.
are going to
Yeah.
rise up because after they seen this little injustice today, and a matter of fact, I shouldn't refer to it as little, it was a huge injustice. It's an insult to the people, about the people
it's your
that think
passion.
that these lawmakers actually care. Some of them do, but you seen what happened today.
Yeah.
It's just pitiful and sad.
And I mean, last week they accused us of being paid by the big marijuana industry.
We don't get paid by nobody. We come up here on our own, our gas money. This is, yeah.
I come up here because I don't
Show
want
me
to be a
who I'm paid
criminal.
by.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be addicted to opiates, but I'm not a criminal. I don't deserve to be in jail.
You don't want to
and
be-
I know Andrea doesn't.
No.
I know that none of
You
you.
don't want to be put in this little stereotypical box they like to throw
No, because
everybody
we're not
in.
And they like to
saying.
make it where it's law enforcement against the criminals. That we're the
Yeah.
criminals, they're the good guys, and that's how they,
That also makes people want to turn against law enforcement too, and not all law enforcement is bad.
Right.
But
But
it goes
it
back
gives
to
them a bad,
politics.
I really feel like, I mean, the chief of police of Washington. You want to talk places?
No.
All right.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Chris Willenboard, and you want to introduce yourself?
Andrea Burleson. Melody Cashin. Tyler Anderson. Krista Levitt.
All right. Thank you. And then you've testified recently on behalf of the medical cannabis.
Last year.
Last year? All right. How'd that go?
Pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I know, I've never spoken in front of a big as a group like that. You know, it's kind of like being on trial. When you get up there and they're all looking, most of them are opposed to it. Then you get up there and just, be honest and tell them your story. Sometimes it'll sway them. Like Antonio and, what was that lady's name?
Pagbari?
I can't remember her name. But either way, they were like just, I guess, just didn't really know about it, not uneducated. But it just like blew their minds, and I'm like, there's like hundreds of people like me, like Melody, like her, everybody has their own afflictions, and like Dr. Shelby talking about, how did he put that? Under like a blanket of when we're just secretly wanting recreational.
That we're just trying to get recreational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That's
is absolutely ridiculous. Not everybody's the same. He's stereotyping them. They're stereotyping us all.
Yeah, I spoke to Bo Watson today, and that's what he told me. He's like, I wish I would just come out and just be more honest about wanting to try to get recreational passed. And I said, no, we're talking about having meeting ground with taking medical patients and not treating them like felons. That's really kind of the big thing.
Assumed.
Yeah.
Actually have a medical legitimate reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, oh, let's go right around.
Right.
Yeah.
Medical, I mean, people abuse medicine, people abuse opiates and other medications doctors prescribe, but they're still needed medications that the doctors can legally prescribe. And, just because somebody abuses it doesn't mean that somebody that needs it shouldn't get it.
Yeah, there's, like you was talking about Narcan, is that how it's pronounced? There's not no Narcan needed with cannabis. That is the rescue drug for me, because that's gave me my life back, as I'm sure it has, Melody. There's no side effects other than the munchies, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was a big crime. We don't need no Narcan for that. And they just had to bring that up right before that bill started.
And what do you use cannabis for?
Epilepsy.
That's one.
Epilepsy and fibromyalgia.
Okay, so you probably tried a number of things with that, right?
I've been on over 20-something different seizure medications since I was 19. I'm 38 now. And I
Okay.
still have, I just had another kidney stone surgery, so that's kidney stone surgery number 20. That is a very rare side effect of the pellets that I take. And that comes directly from my doctor because he couldn't figure out why. And then my urologist looked and he showed me, he's like, this is a side effect. Did you know? I said, no. But, you know, I don't now. But that's pretty much one that works sufficiently. And they tell me if I don't take it, then they can take my driver's license. And I just got to get back. So it's like, and they, like, you know, she was saying, they shouldn't have the right to tell me, even though I am seizure afraid, well, you know, you can't, you're not, if you don't do this, you're not going to be able to drive. Well, you shouldn't be able to tell me what to do. I'm a grown woman. Especially when it comes to my freedom, my rights, if I can get in my own vehicle. Now, if I've had a seizure, that's a little bit different. You know, because obviously their health. Yes, and that's somebody else's life that I could wreck and drive. But then they're still demanding that I take the medication. That's not fair.
Yeah. And you stood before the assemblies and testified to them, right? Come out and said, I need this. And you've taken your time to drive up there and deal with them, correct?
Yes.
What has their kind of response been other than voting this down today?
Well, today was just a travesty. Now, last year they were actually more open. That was the criminal justice committee. This is mental health and something subcommittee or something. I don't know all the political terms. But I kind of figured it would go maybe a little half and half. That's sad. It's ridiculous today.
How many police were in there today?
I don't know, but there was like 30-something state troopers, I think, the last year. And I didn't even know that. Because I didn't, yeah, I didn't ever bother to turn around and look until I got in testifying. I turned around and looked and I was like, oh man, I didn't.
Well, there was, I think, 4 on the front
There
row
was
and
a
3
lot.
on the side maybe today.
Yeah.
So why do you feel that the police presence is so needed to talk about your medical rights?
They're not needed. I'm sure that they're all paid.
Yeah. But
That's
they
how
really
I
have no
look at it.
medical opinion that has anything to do with
No.
anything about your treatment.
No, and I'm sure somebody else is telling them what to say.
When you were at your doctor's office, did they have the police there?
No,
No?
no.
So they're pretty out of the loop as far as your medical concerns go, correct?
And being politics is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And they're not here for other hearings.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, they come specifically for these.
Yeah. Who paid who?
Exactly. Last week there was a big police presence, and a lot of them in uniforms, and then a lot of them in the suits, with, you know, their badges on their,
Yeah.
their belt.
They don't like it, especially when people, I guess if they advocate for recreational. You know, we're not here for that. We're here for medical purposes only. We come up here, we're dressed nice, we don't act all crazy, you know, classy, you know, respectable citizens, and they're still treating us like we're criminals.
Yeah, I think it was you who were saying you kind of looked at like you got the stigma with you and you don't even use it, you
I
just
was
support
trying to
it.
ask the doctor, you know, his medical opinion, you know, all on
Dr.
the
Shawty.
side. Medical opinion. In your medical opinion, would you rather prescribe somebody a handful of pills that cure cancer, aspiration, or whatever, or would you rather give them a plant that you don't have to alter? That is how I stated it. Automatically, they assume because I'm here supporting this, but automatically smoke it, you know, and that's exactly what he said, you know, and that, yes, that just flew all over me because it's because I'm here, because I've seen it firsthand. No, I do not have anything wrong with me. You know, I don't use it, but I have no problem. I've seen it firsthand, Andrea. We grew up together. I've seen the after effects of what happens to her, biting her tongue, bruises, knots. One of my best friends, she hasn't even been gone a year yet. She died of cancer, laying there on hospice suffering.
My grandmother had cancer. 90.
If it's medical, I have no problem with anybody choosing that as their right as a human. That nobody should have the right to tell anybody else, no, you cannot do this. It's medically going to ease your pain.
And he pretty much just sat around and said that he pretty much should have said that he just didn't care. I thought there was a doctor that said something about do no harm, first do no harm, or something like that. That went out the window.
So it was really not legislators talking to medical patients, it was treated more as legislators talking to criminals who want to be no longer treated like criminals.
They were automatically, I think we were automatically stereotyped, you know, how they're here just to push it through so anybody can do whatever they want as far as marijuana. No. You know, they didn't even treat it like it was like in medical anything. It's like, you know, they're here to push it for medical just because I was here, automatically use it and smoke. You know, that's not why I was here. I was here to support somebody that I love, that I've seen firsthand all my life, since 19 and above, plus others, you know. I completely support anybody's right to do something medically.
Yeah,
They
whether
have a
if you've got
legitimate
cancer,
medical
epilepsy,
reason.
Crohn's, it does not matter. I
Right.
mean, people's lives matter.
My dad had asbestosis, and from where he was in the Navy, and he had used cannabis. And 6 months after VA told him that he either had to quit or they were going to quit writing his medicines out. He passed away.
You know, I understand the doctors, they get paid to do what they do, and part of that is writing prescriptions or whatever, but where does the understanding about you're supposed to do the right thing come into check? And I don't understand. Do y'all?
It amazed me how unprofessional they were today.
He was real
To be
unprofessional
our
when it comes to Dr.
elected
Terry. He just straight up challenged Dr. Terry.
But I thought it was very unprofessional when we sat there, we kept their mouths shut, and I couldn't even sit up there and respectively listen to each other up there.
I knew as soon as the meeting started and Dr. Sabi started talking, and then the way that they just all looked at us, and I'm like, yeah, we can go down here real quick.
And that one, he just immediately, hollered out no.
Yep. What's her name? Paul? Cheryl? Him and Dr. Sabi was the one I told to sleep well.
Yeah, he was the one that just hollered out no.
Like, if you can sleep at night knowing that you just pretty much told cancer patients, epileptics, and any other sick people in general, not people in Tennessee, that you just pretty much don't care about them, there's something wrong.
Well, they always
And
had a problem with it.
You
They
use
don't.
cannabis
That's the
for
problem.
a reason, correct?
Yeah,
And what is that?
I've got a genetic disorder called Charcot-Marie-Tooth. It's hereditary sensory and motor neuropathy. I'm actually missing a gene that makes the myelin sheath of my nerves, and so they're kind of being destroyed from the tips in, and it causes a lot of spasticity, and the muscles drop and atrophy, and that causes the joints to get real inflamed and just become deformed. And there's no cure, only treatment for it. And I spent 20 years on very high-powered opiates, and was told I'd be on the rest of my life. That don't really think about getting off it. It was just something I was going to have to live with. I'd be on the rest of my life. And I'd been on them so long, and they just weren't working well anymore. And it had gotten constantly taking them all the time. I developed hyperalgesia, which actually hurt worse.
That's what Dr. Terry's talking about.
And I had all the stomach problems, associated with opiates. And I was just depressed. It had gotten me to a really bad point where I just didn't see much